It's just fantastic. Captain's Log, subdates 21021.6. We are about to replace the plasma in the nacelles, as it's only good for chips and bodies. With this process now underway, we have taken up a strategic position within a crater called the Cuck's Wardrobe. I noticed on Twitter that Chris Pratt was trending, and it got me thinking. He's not promoting Jurassic abortion now, is he? Because that whole series so far has been nothing but one. To the point where the only one I actually enjoy are the first two. Everything else was Jurassic abortion. Well, it turns out that's not why he was trending, which is interesting. Really is. Kinda. Instead, it's because of Amy Berg. Amy Berg tweeted out, "One has to go." Accompanying this were 4 pictures. Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Chris Pine, and Chris Pratt. Accompanying that, she's gone on with different actors, all called Chris. But the first one is what we shall focus on. For those who don't know, 3 of them are from the Marvel Universe, and the 4th one, he did that Star Trek thing. Yup. The replies, though, are all universal. Chris Pratt has to go, and this is bait. Now, I didn't understand why at first. I had to be reminded of a few things, and it's rather irritating, to be honest. In the United States right now, as many of you will undoubtedly know, you have an election not so far away. Chris Pratt has been linked with Donald Trump, which is cause enough to essentially try and find a way to cancel Chris Pratt. I'm sure many people will try and find a way to get rid of Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, arguably the least favourite character in the entire series. The only one anyone cares about is Groot, because he speaks from the heart. So perhaps we should delve into why people think Chris Pratt is a Trump supporter. Should I preface this now with what is known about Chris Pratt's political leanings? I mean, he is married to a Schwarzenegger, who's the daughter of Arnie, who was a Republican governor of California. Which surely must be an indicator of his own political leanings, because he married into this, right? No. A number of his fellow Marvel co-stars, all superheroes, agreed to feature and did feature in an upcoming, now gone, virtual fundraiser for Joe Biden called Voters Assemble. Featured Chris Evans, Don Cheadle, Scarlett Johansson, Paul Rudd, Mark Ruffalo and Zoe Saldana, which featured a Q&A with trivia and the VP candidate, Senator Kamala Harris. Chris Pratt was not in attendance of this. There are a number of others who were not in it either, but I'm certain of it. When a Robert one comes around, everyone's going to pounce on it, right? No, actually they won't. He did the Electoral College video from a few years ago. Does anyone remember that cringe? Since this has come out, many have obviously tried to find ways to just dump on Chris Pratt, 'cause MAGA, yo, without any proof. It's like the doctored picture of Ice Cube wearing a MAGA hat with 50 Cent, I believe. It's a doctored image, okay? Well, as it turns out, his co-stars, including Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr., have spoken out against those that are trying to dump on Chris Pratt, with Mark Ruffalo saying, "Chris Pratt is as solid a man there is. I know him personally, and instead of casting aspersions, look at how he lives his life. He is just not overtly political as a rule. This is a distraction. Let's keep our eyes on the prize, friends. We are so close now to getting rid of Trump if it wasn't obvious enough." Maybe Mark Ruffalo should have taken a shot at Amy Berg for this distraction. Maybe it was a needed one with the heated campaign it's been. Do I leave my sarcasm aside for that one? It's been quite dull, I will admit. Robert Downey Jr. said, "What a world. The sinless, air quotes, are casting stones at my brother Chris Pratt, a real Christian who lives by principle, has never demonstrated anything but positivity and gratitude, and he just married into a family that makes space for civil discourse, and insists on service as the highest value. If you take issue with Chris, I've got a novel idea. Delete your social media accounts, sit with your own defects of character, work on them, then celebrate your humanness. I find that oddly discriminatory towards Cthulhu-kin. You should, of course, Robert Downey Jr., delete yourself from the internet. You make me sick." We currently although I think we've always lived like this, in a very polarizing political climate, where for some odd reason we need to tell everyone what we believe and where we stand, and if we don't meet others' expectations, then we are somehow inherently a bad thing. Has anyone noticed on this channel I don't generally cover politics? I do on a politics channel, but even then I stay mostly neutral, because it is so polarizing. One shouldn't seek to tear another person down because of their politics or their lack thereof politics. If your interest is in getting rid of the person you didn't vote for, focus on that, instead of looking for a scapegoat for your frustrations, which is exactly what it is for Amy Berg, because she put it out there solely, so others could dump on him. And that's fine, you have your freedom to speak, but I also have my freedom to tell you, you are a moron, and used it as a deflection, which then takes the attention away from what you should be focusing on. And that is for you, having Joe Biden and Kamala Harris beat Donald Trump and Mike Pence, which, because I'm British, we don't understand your politics enough right now. We just see it all party line, so I have no idea who's going to win. And in truth, I don't really care. But that's because I'm British, we've got Boris, my entertainment is assured until 2024 at least. There is another aspect to this though, that leads people to believe he is a vile, religious, homophobic racist. I've used all the thought-terminating cliches because of the incident a few years ago with Ellen Page, that actress who was in X-Men 3. She was in a couple of them. I don't know if she's done anything since. And I promise you this, it is not an intended slight, it is merely my lack of interest in many things and forgetting names. I'm really bad with names, okay? So in 2019, Ellen Page tweeted that Chris Pratt's church was infamously anti-LGBTQ. Chris Pratt put out a statement not long after on Instagram indicating that his church was anything but. Many people pounced on it by pointing out that the pastor of that particular church, which is a part of an evangelical, branch, wing, company, I don't know what you call them, cult? I don't follow religion that much. Pyramid scheme, perhaps? The pastor once, and if I remember correctly, said that homosexuality was sexual brokenness. Sounds to me like he hasn't had some bum fun, and I wish you could have seen the mannerisms of my hands when I was clicking them when I said that. I totally meant every word of it. Seriously. The church in question is more commonly known as Hillsong, I believe, and there had been, because of Ellen Page calling out that particular church and Chris Pratt, previous members who themselves are gay calling out the church for being anti-LGBTQ. Now my view is simple. Chris Pratt only has the experience that he has had, and therefore his lens is going to only encompass his experiences. Other experiences from the outside aren't going to mean anything to him because he hasn't seen it. Therefore, he cannot call it out or chastise it. And I get that. One always and should be willing to accept evidence to prove anything. Add this to the Trump stuff, and people have an idea of who they think Chris Pratt is. I think he's a mildly amusing actor who's a part of two current franchises, one of which I don't care about, and the other one is, as earlier stated, Jurassic Abortion. And I, for the most part, fully agree with Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo with their statements about Chris Pratt. If he is a mostly apolitical guy, you shouldn't be trying to drag him in. And you should all delete your social media. Climbing trees is much more fun. As we're done here, I would love to know what you think. Please do let me know in the comments down below as a final thing. I'm going to be streaming some fishing on Twitch tonight, and I've actually got the game to work. Link in the description. Have a fantastic day. Thank you all for listening.